This will define everything for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's about to go down. The stage is set, fans are on the edge of their seats, players are fired up, and these teams are out for blood. We're going to break down all the Tampa Bay Lightning updates before we kick off round one of playoffs. Playoff hockey is here, ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited, and if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. This is the place to be for all things playoff hockey updates and even some weather updates. If anyone's in Tampa Bay right now, I heard that there's a severe thunderstorm warning. Oh yeah, Bolts Canadiens tonight. Major thunder, guys. The Lightning are here to strike. It's going to be amazing. And we have a huge update. Our captain, Victor Hedman, was spotted skating on the ice this morning. He's around the team for now, and Coop said he's going to join the Lightning on the road trips to Montreal for games 3 and 4. He's not available to play at the moment, but that's okay because that could change at any second. It's unclear when Hedman will be back, but he's been on personal leave since March 25th, and he's also been plagued with injuries all year throughout the Tampa Bay Lightning NHL season, throughout the Olympics, and we'd much rather see him recover well than push through an injury and not come back 100%. But I was so thrilled to see him back on the ice, and to know that he has such a locker room presence is remarkable as well, because it's very optimistic and it builds a lot of hope to know that he's still behind the scenes amping the players up. And Vasi actually had his own to say regarding that. He said, one of the best D-men over the last, 10 years, super consistent, great captain, great personality. Unfortunately, he's not with us on the ice at the moment, but he's around the locker room and giving us all the support. We feel that. Even though he's not on the ice, we definitely feel his support, and that's huge for the team. Yes, Vasi, it is so huge for the team. In the playoff rush, nonetheless, to have your captain not in the mix is a huge, huge void, and that absence is felt. But having him in the locker room, even though he's not on the ice, having him in the locker room, building up that mental toughness, getting the players hyped, really pushing them, encouraging them, that's more than half the battle in my opinion. I'm a believer that the mental game is so much more than the physical game. You can build up the physical game over years, but I think mental toughness is so much harder. Let me know what you think in the comments. Mental toughness or physical toughness? I'm always going to be a proponent, or, maybe not always, but until this point, I've always been a proponent of mental toughness first. I think that takes you way farther, and I also think that's way harder to get under control, especially when you're about to face some of the rowdiest fans in the league at Bell Center. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to need all the support they can get in the locker room from Captain Hedman. And now we've got some major roster transactions. I have some good news and I have some bad news. I think I'll start with the good news first. All right, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. I don't know if you can hear me drum rolling on my laptop, but Connor Geekie is back, and I'm so happy about that. Maybe BriseBois watched my last episode and he took all of my analyzations into consideration. If so, thank you so much. But it's really great to have him back, and hopefully he was able to work on his development and skill up in Syracuse. And I think that this young player could be a huge part of the Lightning's success in the playoffs. He brings a lot of support in some secondary goal scoring, and he's a good match I wouldn't say a good match, but he definitely could be very helpful in our matchups against young guys on the Canadiens. And then as for the bad news, I don't know so much if this is bad news, but Halverson is back as well, which I'm not particularly thrilled about, but because Johansson is still day-to-day, we need a backup goalie. More than likely, Vasi is going to be the starter. I would really highly doubt any other scenario. But maybe if we need Halverson to step onto the ice for a bit, maybe we'll have a different result than we did against the Rangers when he was in at the goal and we lost 4-2, because now having Point back, Moser back, Gensel back, maybe that'll be helpful for Halverson and his goaltending. But we got Kiki back. And since we got Geeky back, we're going to manifest some good energy. I always talk about my Slavic intuition, my Slavic senses. Hopefully this picture manifests some geeky success, or any Tampa Bay Lightning success. All the goals in game 1. And it's going to be a really great matchup. I am so pumped about it. I think so much of this bold success is going to be contingent upon their emotions in the game. And that's exactly what Brandon Hagel said. He said, I think our team's at the best when emotions are high. You guys have seen some of the games we've had this season. It was like WWE on the ice. And it really was. Exhibit A, ladies and gentlemen. WWE in the NHL. This was a Habs-Bolts matchup, which we're gonna have for the next week. Unreal. Scraps pretty much every other second. Exhibit B. Let's see. This one's one of my favorites. Matthew Tkachuk getting his world absolutely rocked by Brandon Hagel. He ended up jerseyless, borderline padless. This was a tremendous watch. One of my favorite fights this season. And actually, this is definitely a top 3 fight for the season. Vasi going against Swayman in the Stadium Series. That was crazy. Goalie fights are so rare, so for us to have one and in a Stadium Series game nonetheless was iconic. And this is the energy that we need in round 1 of playoffs, that we need for the rest of the postseason, but especially now round 1 going against the Canadians that are so physical. We're going to need all the scrappiness that we can get. And so to preview what's ahead of us as we face the Habs in game 1, they've got a major weakness on their end. Now, as Bolts fans, we understand what an impact injuries can have on a team because we've been plagued by them all season, and we continue to deal with them with Holmberg out, Hedman still out. But the Habs don't have Noah Dobson, and that's one of their best defensemen. He's out the entire first round of playoffs, and you see him here trying to defend one of Gergensen's shots on goal. So this is huge for the Lightning. I would never wish bad, never wish injuries on anyone, but this scenario is a huge advantage for the Lightning. Dobson leads the NHL with 188 blocked shots. In 80 games this season, he's had 12 goals and 47 points. So he's not only very efficient on defense, but offense as well. He's a double threat. He's averaged the 3rd most ice time for the Habs, so they've really got to scramble now to figure out how to fill those shoes. Now we know what the Habs' tactic is. Target Kuch. They're always going to go after Kuch. We've seen it time and time again, which is why we need our enforcers in full effect. Chernak, Sabrin, Perry. I know last episode I gave Perry some heat for going after 24-year-old Will Cooley, and Perry's 40, and I said maybe you should stick to your age range. Don't bully the younger guys. But in this case, full permission to go after any player. If you touch Kuch, it's a wrap for you. Okay, and we see that on the Habs end as well. Anytime you touch one of their players, Arbor Xhekaj, they call him, I think, the sheriff, he goes after them like a maniac. That's exactly the energy we need. And I know just the guy to do it. Let's pull it up right here. The man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Hagel. If there's anyone we can count on to get physical, it's Brandon Hagel. That man will never back down from a fight. And we love that. My prediction for this series, I'm thinking Bolts in 5 if Victor Hedman comes back early. Maybe Bolts in 6 if we have no Hedman. I'm just saying hopeful and optimistic that there will be no injuries, knock on wood. But Bolts in 5, maybe 6. I have to see how things are going to play out in game 1. Definitely having home ice advantage for the next 2 games, the first 2 games, is really critical because you already get in that mindset of building momentum, and having your fans by your side in the beginning really makes you more eager to play and more eager to win and want to win, not just for yourself, but for them, for the fans. It means everything. And I know looking at the team overall, they haven't had the best record post-Olympics, but obviously they've been navigating through injuries all season. And actually, this is really similar, very deja vu moment. We've had a lot of those lately. It's a similar situation to 2021 when they won a Stanley Cup. They didn't do so hot in the last dozen or so games of the regular season. but they still came back and won a Stanley Cup. So it's like I've been saying since the beginning. Once the postseason starts, it's 0-0. Clean slate. Your regular season record does not matter. You're starting from scratch. It's about game one, and you take things day by day, game by game. This is the Bolts' 9th consecutive playoff. They're the number 2 seed in the Atlantic Division, which is a huge success. Given how many injuries they've had to overcome, that's really incredible of them. Home ice advantage. Despite tying with the Habs, both teams finished at 106 points in the Atlantic. The Bolts had more wins. So we're going to see a lot of true playoff intensity, because even in our last 2 matchups against the Habs, we had Stanley Cup intensity on March 31st when we lost 4-1, and then April 9th when we lost 2-1. So those weren't ideal results against the Habs, but I think they were great learning experiences for the teams, and hopefully more so for the Bolts than the than the Habs. And we've also been so inconsistent in having a full strength roster. So, I mean, even that deficit going from 3 points to 1 point is a sign of improvement within about a week and a half. So lots to stay optimistic for. And my favorite thing to talk about is that the last time the Habs won a playoff series was in 2021. And in 2021 is when the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Canadiens to win the Stanley Cup. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot on the table. Both teams have bad blood with each other. I know the Habs are coming for revenge, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are here to prove that at the end of the day, when you're weighing young talent versus more experienced vets, the experience is what matters. And we're going to hopefully see that tonight. Game 1, I'm pumped. Let me know how pumped you are in the comments, and go Bolts!